What's happening, guys? Thursday night and we're in the shop again. It's been like a long process this week. I've literally been staring at this thing and I think I finally have like a really good build plan. This double triangulated crossmember is proving to be very tricky. There's a bunch of things you need to keep in mind, and I think I finally settled on a design. I've calculated a bunch of angles, and basically the biggest thing I need to do now is figure out where it's actually going to land, like this way on the frame. So that brings me to tonight's plan is to cut off these lower control arm brackets. These are the regular ones that were on here. I think these are actually Clayton brackets just from the original JK axle swap. And we're going to throw the TMR triangulated ones on there. And that way I can get this thing situated under the Jeep and mock up my lower links. These are going to go pretty much in the same spot as my goal. And something like that. You can see now they're aiming inward, so I get my triangulation. Oh geez. So I'm going to go ahead, make a bunch of noise, get dirty, put the camera away so I don't destroy it. It's already covered in dust. It's actually, yeesh. Yeah, and then I will update you guys when I get these things off. Alright, so I got those brackets cleaned up nice and clean. I decided to throw the wheel on there just to make sure that I was going to have clearances on where my brackets go. So the stock bracket goes about like over here. I can actually push the triangulated ones like all the way out. I do want to leave room for the coilover tabs. I want to leave room for brake adjustments and just stuff like that. But yeah, I do not miss grinding metal. Like when this thing was still stock and I was cutting all the brackets off. Oh, I do not miss this mess. I was going to film some stuff the other night, but I actually ended up not charging my new microphone. That's gonna happen a lot. We're gonna have that. So I ran out of wire in my welder, so I've kind of been stuck. I just ran to Home Depot and I got some Lincoln 30. I picked up Hobart 35, but I don't have the correct contact tip for 35. I thought I had them. So in the meantime, I ordered a big spool of the 30 wire, which is what I've been using. It seems like a lot of people are using 35, so I would love to give that a try. I'll have to find some tips. My local welding shops aren't open on the weekends, so anyway, I'm just in here tonight. It's kind of late, but I want to see if I can maybe get the lower control arm brackets tacked on to the axle here, because I spent the other day when I was in here without the microphone, aligning this thing in here, using a piece of PVC for my drive shaft alignment there. So you can see that looks pretty good. That's going to be about where my pinion is. Plumb bobs are telling me location this way because I marked the stock back of the tube and 5 inches back of the tube. And I confirmed that by measuring back off the frame, which was measured off the body mounts. So I'm at least square to the body mounts on the frame. And then this way, I got the center of the tub. So we got the center up here. We got a center here. And then we got a center on the axle up there. You can't see it on the camera, but there's a center down there. And so we're good left and right too. So yeah, I'm sorry about the flickering light over here. It's those fluorescent lights over there are just not very friendly on the camera. So I got the heaters going. We're gonna see if we can maybe get these things tacked on tonight, and I can get my control arms kind of mocked up and see what we're working with. All right, so we got the wire in there. It's all happy now. I think I'm gonna start off with some bench stuff. These TMR lower brackets actually came with these teardrop weld washers, which is super nice. I did pick up a package of their captured nut plates as well from I did like a collaboration with someone. And it appears that I've lost them already. I think they're probably in the box under the light. But anyway, I think I'm just going to use the weld washers because these lower brackets are super easy to get to, so I don't need to use a captured nut. So I'm just going to start out tonight with throwing these on there because I know once these are on the axle, I'm not going to want to take them off again. So. Alright, so I got those little brackets welded up. They're ready to go. They are sitting under here. I actually put my control arms in and kind of mocked up where that cross member is going to go under there. I have it over on the table, and got some markings on it to trim it out. Looks like it's going to work. My links are almost too long because my cross member is going to be hitting the skid plate, so I'm going to try and like do some trickery on it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just very somber tonight. I don't know. I've been like a little down lately. Just put on some like coffee house kind of music, and it's kind of nice to just do some math and stuff real quick. Here's that cross member. These are going to be the sections that I cut out. So basically, I'm just going to like French in the link brackets, and then I need to angle this thing up. So I got like my measurement here, 2 different scenarios. And this is just that mark. I need to go get an angle finder so I can cut this. And then I'm just gonna take this, trim the triangle out and bend it up so I'm not welding all the way around. So I'm gonna save the cutting for tomorrow because it's kind of late and I'm just, I don't know, just very chill right now. I really don't want to use a grinder. It'd be kind of nice if I had like, the bandsaw would work, but it cuts on like an angle. If it came down like straight, it'd be fine, but I don't know, whatever. So yeah, maybe I'll see what I can get done tomorrow, update you guys then, and we'll get this video out. Alrighty guys, happy Sunday. We finally have like a full-ish day in the shop to maybe get something done. So I want to continue working on the cross member here. I grabbed an angle finder. This thing is like really cheesy. I'm looking for one of those like old school ones where it just like has like 2 hands and you just spread it apart. But this will work for now. So I did these little drawings on CAD, some dimensions, because I need to drop this cross member down, and I want to have full contact on the frame rails on the end still. So if you can imagine, this would be hanging down below the frame, and so I want to bend these upward so it goes like that, and that'll give me about a 1-inch drop. I did both, but I'm going to go for the 1-inch drop because on my calculator, I calculated that my lower links were 21-ish inches off the ground. So if I drop this down 1 inch, it should give me enough room to get the transfer case out. That's like my biggest worry. This thing mounts right behind my skid plate, and so I've never actually taken the transfer case out of a Jeep before, but I know it has to slide back off the transmission. And so if this thing was too high up, I wouldn't be able to slide it back. So I'm gonna drop it down in hopes that I can kind of go over it if I had to. If I ever had to pull the transfer case, I'm assuming I would pull the belly skid, and I could basically pull the transfer case off, rest it on the cross member, drop the front down, and then slide it back out the front. That's kind of my hope. If not, when I go to replace the transfer case someday, I'm gonna have to cut this thing out, and I really don't want to think about that, but I think we're all right. So I'm gonna play with the angle finder here. I calculated my angle on CAD because I'm too stupid to do it the old school way, so I got 8.5 degrees, and that's from this line. We're gonna chop a little triangle out, and then we're gonna take this thing and just bend it up without cutting the bottom of the tube. Not too bad. right, so I cut out my piece here, and it fits enough. But what makes this a little tricky is that these two plates are different lengths. So if you just cut out a 90-degree angle into this to sink this in, you wouldn't have contact on both. And I'd like both of these to contact the cross member so I can get weld on both of them. Now it fits, but I made a cut in the wrong spot, and I'm debating if I chop this whole entire piece out, I can plate this in, and that'll give me more like vertical steel in there to keep this whole thing from kind of like tacoing itself. So I think I might do that since I already cut it, and I know I have the material for it. So there's also a bunch of extra material that I'm gonna have, so I might as well use it. Oh, that's perfect. That's how I need that one to fit, actually. So I'm gonna redo that one. Slots in perfect over here. Oh, that's perfect. Let's go. That fits in there perfectly. What did I do wrong on this side? That's my mark. I had an old mark in the right spot. I don't know why I moved it. I went way too deep on this side. That's fine, I'll be able to fill it, but... Grr. Alright, so... I forget what the last thing I filmed was. I think I told the camera that I was going to cut out all this stuff in the crossmember. And so I did that. We got our angles up here. I just put it on a block of wood, stomped it, and we got a good angle here. This shouldn't be too big of a deal to weld up. And if I need more angle, I have the room there, so that's nice. Here are the ballistic brackets that I chopped in half. I think I showed these in the last video, or at least beginning this part. So I kind of mocked this thing up under the axle with the triangulated brackets on the axle, and then kind of put my links in there to see where they would fall. And I needed just a little bit more length. So I needed to inset these into the crossmember, so that's what these triangles are. And then also on a lot of brackets these days, they have these like keys in them. So you, like all the pieces come DIY and you fit them together with these little keys. So what I did was I drilled a hole in the bottom of my crossmember here. See if it'll focus on that. Down here is a little hole. So this key here, this big one here, fits right in there and it locks in there super good. I'll be able to get all sorts of weld around there. And then I added the plate on the back here, so I'll be able to weld this and this up top, and then all around the back and inside. It should help a lot with the rigidity of this thing. So just wanted to give an update before I fill all that in. And of course, I coated the whole inside of this thing with steel. This stuff is, I can't think of the word, but that stuff is like
the best.
It's like the wine, the holy wine that you drink out of the shallot. All right, let me weld this stuff up. So something I forgot to keep in mind, but luckily I thought of it now before it's all welded. When you're doing a triangulated setup, obviously like this, you need to make sure that you have clearance for your bolts. So the bolts need to come out this way because they won't come out and they'll hit the cross member. So I'm just checking this now. And I got really lucky and we're just gonna clear. I mean, that's gotta be like maybe a 1/16 of an inch, but we should be all right. Get a wrench on there. And then once you pull the bolt out, the nut should be able to come out no problem. But dang, something to keep in mind. There's got to be at least 67 things to keep in mind with this whole setup. All right, so after some more deliberating and testing fitting on the Jeep, I decided I needed to put more of a bend in the crossmember, which is more of a drop. And check this out. So I have my angle finder zeroed out here. Let's fit that up real nice. Right there. It fits. So we're at, all right, it moved half a degree. You can see that down there. Let's bring it over to here. Slide it along until it just hits. I mean, that's fitting perfectly up against there. And bam, it didn't even move. Let's go. That looks so good. So this should be about 2 inches of drop now. I'm really more worried about my drive shaft getting caught up in between here because it's like right underneath the transfer case, and I don't have my SYE on there, and I don't want the double cardan getting all messed up, and I don't know. I'd rather be safe than sorry, and I can still afford the 2 inches of drop. So that came out really good. I'm really excited about that. All right, here's a better look. Cleaned up a little bit around here. You can see these angles down. Got them quick tack welded before they move on me. But yeah, I'm really happy with that progress. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I'm sure there's a lot of clips in here, but thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your continued support. I'm working on some cool summer stuff where I'd rather be wheeling. So if you go head over to the website, you can actually like put in your email and subscribe. And of course, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll be updated on all that. So I got some cool stuff coming. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next week.